From a goal so crazy it won a Puskas Award to a goal that made a man immortal, these are the 20 best goals in World Cup history. And first up, Lionel Messi did a rescue job on Argentina in 2018. Control and smashing it into the far left, Messi's definitely been watching Dennis Bergkamp's highlight reels. In the 1998 World Cup, Bergkamp's Netherlands team faced Argentina in the knockout stage, and just when it seemed like it'd be heading for a draw, Bergkamp did this. Goal so good it made that commentator go nuts. Finesse that ball and still put in a finish. Sometimes you don't always have to blast it, but don't take it from me, ask Fabio Quagliarella. In Italy's opening game of the 2010 World Cup, they were losing 3-1 to Slovakia and needed a goal from somewhere to give them hope. The pressure was on, but Quagliarella didn't see it like that. The ability to dunk it over the goalie from that angle is insane. Takes some pretty decent skill level. I haven't seen that since Pelé in 1958. A 17-year-old in a World Cup final is crazy. At that age, Pelé was part of a Brazil team carrying the hopes of a country on their shoulders when they took on Sweden in the 1958 World Cup. And if the fans in attendance didn't know how talented Pelé was, they certainly did after this goal. Touch, control, finish. They don't make them like him anymore. And that doesn't mean the new generation of Brazilian strikers are bad. In 2022, Richarlison stole the show. The opening game versus Serbia, Brazil needed inspiration in breaking down a stubborn Serbia team. These guys were willing to defend and see what they could get on the break until Richarlison took it up a notch and had the crowd going nuts. Acrobatics in the World Cup? That's on another level. Individual goals like this are great, but in 2006, Argentina hit a team move so crazy, there's no way it wasn't going in. Argentina versus Serbia and Montenegro. And after taking the lead, they decided to put on a show for the fans. They won the ball back in their half, and from that point, they put on a 40-second passing show that was a joy to watch. Ended up scoring with the move too. They looked like prime Arsenal. I bet Arsene Wenger wishes he could manage that team after watching this one. Still, you just can't help falling in love with amazing solo goals, like the time Michael Owen had Argentina's defense on strings. The 1998 World Cup. Round of 16, England versus Argentina, and it was epic. Many people remember the match for Beckham's red card in extra time. But before that, Michael Owen had produced one of the most amazing solo goals ever. Took them for a run and still found a finish to match. Neat. Safe to say, goals like this are one thing Michael Owen and James Rodriguez have in common. James was representing Colombia versus Japan in the 2014 World Cup. He was Colombia's star man in midfield. The team expected a lot from him, and my man lived up to the hype in the opener. Deleted the defender, and that dink lob for the goal, incredible. That's a skill move right there. Same with Ricardo Quaresma in 2018. When Portugal took on Iran in that year's edition of the World Cup, even though they were expected to win, the game was still tough. Iran managed to put up a fight, and in a game like this, it was always going to take something out of the ordinary to pop it. Step up, Ricardo Quaresma. He used his trademark skill move to deadly effect, the Trivela shot. Portugal really had their attackers on different smoke in that year's World Cup. In the opening game, the main man was on show. The 88th minute, Spain 3, Portugal 2. Ronaldo had scored both goals for his team, but at that point, it was looking like it wasn't going to count for anything. Portugal needed a goal late on, or else they'd be staring defeat in the face. And with less than 2 minutes to play, Ronaldo came clutch. A hat-trick in the opening game of the World Cup. Unbelievable. Some goals just make you go off the edge of your seat wondering how the heck that happened. Like Jared Borghetti's stunning header versus Italy. When Jared Borghetti and Mexico faced Italy in the 2002 World Cup, almost everyone expected Italy to win. The thing is, Mexico was no cheap knockoff. On their day, they were capable of putting on a show, and Jared Borghetti did just that with this stunner. How the heck has he managed that header from there? Dude must have secret neck muscles no one knows about. A goal from an incredible angle at the World Cup. Hey, I've seen this one before. Oh yeah, Maicon in 2010. Brazil's right-back Maicon was playing in the group stage game versus North Korea when he came speeding into the opposition's half. He made an advanced run into the box, and once the pass came to him, his teammates had positioned themselves for the cross. But let's just say Maicon had other ideas. Damn! I'd bet if Maicon was my math teacher, I'd be an angles expert. The heck? The 2010 World Cup was something else, man. It featured some of the best ballers in the world. But if there's one guy who made that tournament his own, it was Diego Forlan. He was in God mode in South Africa. Forlan scored some incredible goals in the competition and took home the Golden Ball Award. But when it comes to picking his top strike, it doesn't get better than this one against the hosts. Put the stadium on silent mode. Forlan reportedly asked for the Jabulani ball months in advance so he could practice with it. Safe to say, it paid off. Down to 2018 now, and in France's crazy game versus Argentina, one goal was impossible to leave out. The scoreline tells you everything you need to know. It was epic. France took the lead, Argentina came back, and when France decided to respond, their right-back had Lionel Messi struggling to believe what he'd just seen. Look at the technique on that shot, man. Pavard hit a worldie, and FIFA had no choice. They had named it the goal of the competition. Haven't seen a strike that stunning since Maxi Rodriguez back in 2006 for Argentina. They were up against Mexico in the round of 16, and the game was so tight it had gotten into extra time. At some point, it looked like both teams were already settling for a penalty shootout. But Maxi Rodriguez wasn't prepared to wait that long for the result. And with time running out, he sent Argentina to the last 8 in style. Banger goal! Now, guys, it's into the top 5. And at number 5, Zinedine Zidane was ice cold in the most important game of his career. His last ever game as a pro, Zidane announced that he'd be retiring from football after the World Cup in 2006. And he'd balled so hard he'd taken France to the final. They'd got a penalty early, and Zizou stepped up to take it, up against the Gianluigi Buffon. You'd probably have been expecting him to smash it, but instead, dude hit a Panenka penalty in a World Cup final. The balls on this man. Epic goal. I had the same reaction after Robin van Persie shocked the Spanish in 2014. The repeat of the 2010 World Cup final, the Netherlands versus Spain in the group stage of the competition. Seemed like it was going to be a déjà vu all over when Spain took the lead, but Robin van Persie had suffered enough heartache from 2010 to watch his team go down like that. Against a Spanish defense with Casillas in goal, Ramos and Piqué, they'd be pretty hard to beat. Except Van Persie's built different. I've got no words, man. Wow! Some goals just leave you stunned. Van Persie's looping header here, and Ronaldinho back in 2002. Ronaldinho was part of the Brazil team that took on England in the 2002 World Cup quarter-finals. And honestly, the number of stars on display that evening was amazing. England's defense was stacked too. The world was expecting a tight game, a moment of magic to decide it, and Ronaldinho stepped up and did this. He embarrassed the goalie and gave Brazil the lead. Still, it wasn't winning him a Puskas Award like it did for my boy, James Rodriguez. The 2014 World Cup round of 16. Colombia versus Uruguay. Tough match. But both teams had players who could turn the game around if they had to. On Colombia's part, James was pulling the strings in the advanced midfield role as a number 10. And I could tell you just how good he was that evening, but I'd rather just show you instead. Chest, turn, bang. It does not get any better than that. James's goal was so good it got voted as the goal of the competition and won him a Puskas Award at the end of the year. It should have been the number 1 pick too, but there's no way it's kicking out the goal of the century. Argentina versus England in 1986 will forever be remembered for 2 things. The first, Diego Maradona's Hand of God goal. At the time, the English fans were pissed because they believed the only reason they'd gone behind was because of Maradona's cheat goal. So he just went ahead and showed them he could do it legally if he wanted to. Maradona ran them in 2 different forms. What a guy. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button to Free Kick Corner for even more content.